What's up, everybody? John Arapoli here with My MMA News, and today's guest will be fighting Anthony Adams at Bellator 289 on December 9th. Pleased today to be joined by the number 5 ranked middleweight contender in Bellator's middleweight division. Pleased today to once again be joined by Dalton Rosta. Dalton, nice to see you, man.
You too, man.
So let's get into things here. You're coming off a huge win. We did an interview before and after that fight with Romero Cotton. And I was thinking, I know there was some bad blood ahead of time, and you were so happy to settle, everything there, get that big knockout win, and life would move on. Well, next thing you know, I go on your Instagram, you have in your bio Romero Cotton's daddy. You're posting different, like that one thing you posted where you're like reading him a bedtime story was absolutely hilarious. So what's going on with this? I guess the bad blood hasn't been settled.
Yeah, so I completely forgot about the Romero Cotton's dad in my bio. I forgot about that. But the meme with me reading my bedtime stories, like somebody that's running a meme account or a parody account of me on Twitter made that, and I thought it was hilarious. I sent it to my friends; they thought it was hilarious. It's like I got to take this opportunity. I put it on Instagram. I feel anybody in my situation, especially with all the bad blood and everything beforehand, with that opportunity, they would do the same thing.
Yeah, definitely. And it's all right. One thing that you forgot about the whole thing in the bio there, but that, like I said, that photo was hilarious. And what's that like for you two to have somebody that's making a fake account of yours too? You've made it big when people want to create fake accounts and try to act like you.
Yeah, there's a new one on TikTok that people keep sending me. They keep messaging people on TikTok pretending to be me. So yeah, I expect it's going to happen more and more.
Yeah, a lot of imposters out there, but we're glad we're talking to the real guy here today, not the fake ones on Instagram. Let's get into the fight specifics now for this one. Obviously, after coming off a big win like that, I was a little surprised with the matchup. I thought for sure you'd get somebody ranked in front of you. Instead, you're going back in the rankings, 5 versus 10. Just your thoughts on all that and kind of how that all transpired there.
So I was supposed to fight John Salter. I don't know what happened with that. Besides that, I mean, you got Fabian Edwards, who's ranked second, but he was fighting October 29th in Italy, so he's out of the question. Number 4, Anatoly Tokov has the next title shot against Johnny Evelyn, my teammate, then I'm at number 5. So that really just leaves people behind me. I asked for, Austin's my teammate, so that leaves 7 out of the question. I already beat Romero Cotton. So there really wasn't anybody to choose from. And with John Salter turning the fight down, I just wanted to fight again. And I was initially slated to fight November 18th against Imam Shafi Aliyev. I'm sure if you've been keeping up with the card, he's fighting against somebody tomorrow night. And I was offered the fight against him after John Salter turned it down. He said no. And a week or two later, I see that he's on the card still. So I called my manager. I'm like, yo, what's up with this? He turned me down, and he's still fighting November 18th. And now they're telling me I'm not fighting until next year because of budget issues. I'm like, what's up with this? Why didn't this guy get pushed back and I get in a heart? He's like, all right, hold on. Let me call him and see what's going on. So he called Kogan, and Kogan was like, well, we didn't want Dalton to feel burned by putting him on the prelims. So all we have is next year. And but there's a December 9th card in Connecticut that there's a prelim spot open. If Dalton wants to fight on that, we could work on a fight for that. But we got to find an opponent. And I started asking for certain opponents. I seen Khalid Murtazalayev, or however you pronounce his name, got a TKO win. I asked for him, even though he wasn't ranked. At this point, I'm just trying to fight somebody. They said it was going to be too hard because it was going to be too quick of a turnaround for him. And so I was like, all right, well, what about Anthony Adams? They gave me Anthony Adams. I signed the contract right away. Apparently, so did he. And here we are. And apparently, our fight is now being boosted to the main card, is what I'm hearing. It's being elevated to the main card. It was a prelim fight. They initially slated me on the prelims because they said there was no main card slots open up. But it looks like I'm going to be on the main card anyways.
So it's funny, right? Everything kind of all worked itself out. Then you go from the prelims to the main card there. But as you were explaining all that, all I could think about, I'm pretty sure we've had this conversation in the past, but like Man, you're having such a hard time getting things booked here. I know that Romero Cotton thing for forever was like pulling teeth. Now you go through all of this. Does any of this like ever get like frustrating for you that you're just so annoyed that it's been so hard to, just get a straight up contract, sign it, the other guy signs it, good to go, 1, 2, 3, and that you have to go through all these hoops and hurdles just to get a fight booked?
Yeah, I mean, it's the fight game. You have so many people involved. You have the coaches, you have the fighter, you have the manager, and then you have the promotion, the matchmaker. So there's a lot of hoops to jump through initially, anyways. You know what I mean? So I expect it. Um, I mean, it's not going to get any easier. Yeah, I'm not the only person that deals with it. There's several people in multiple promotions, UFC, Bellator, PFL, that all deal with this. Now, what the promotion can do to kind of try and force the fight, that's up to them. But at the end of the day, if people are pulling out of fights even after they agree to them, there's not really much you could do. You know what I mean? So at this point, I kind of expect it. I'm early in my career. I'm 7-0. I'm 7 fights in. This is going to be 8. Make me 8-0. And I mean, nobody really wants to fight somebody this early in my career because they know how dangerous I am. But it's not really much reward. Now that I'm ranked 5th, a little bit of rewards there. They might get bumped up in the rankings, but looking from the outside in, or being in another opponent's shoes, they're looking at me saying, all right, this guy's dangerous. But even if I were to win, Hail Mary shot, what do I get out of it? And I think the risk reward isn't worth it for them.
Makes a lot of sense there. Now let's start getting into fight specifics here. I will start with training camp going on right now down there in South Florida at American Top Team. Just how's your camping going?
Everything's been going great, man. Normal camp stuff, bumps and bruises here and there, working around like small injuries until they heal, and then you get back into it full time. Uh, Same stuff every camp. I've dealt with adversity every single camp. Dealt with a little bit this time, but good to go. I'm healthy again. Uh, I'm ready to go. We're 3 weeks out from tomorrow. Tomorrow we're 3 weeks out, and I wish I was fighting tomorrow. If we're being honest, but at the end of the day, still got to wait 3 weeks. I'm itching to get in there, and whenever I do, I'm looking to make a big splash, make a big show.
All right, let's talk about your opponent now a little bit. I know we touched on it just a little bit earlier, but just talk about him as an opponent, kind of what you've seen out of him and what you're kind of expecting on fight night.
He's athletic. He's obviously a striker, but I've seen him take a few takedown attempts here and there. He wasn't successful on any of them, but he mixes it up, and this is mixed martial arts, so you got to at least show it. You know what I mean? So obviously he has good coaches in his corner, directing him in that path. But at the end of the day, you got to be able to actually implement the game. If you're taking shots and you're failing, it's not efficient. It's not effective at the end of the day. So nobody's going to respect it. But he has some decent striking. He has some good kicks, but he tends to throw stuff one at a time. I've seen some fights where he did otherwise, but for the most part, he throws one strike at a time, one kick at a time. He likes to stay on the outside and dance and do all this little fancy footwork, but it's quick. But besides that, I mean, I'm a better striker than him, especially at boxing range. If he's throwing one kick against me, if they're sloppy, he's going to regret it. He's going to get countered hard. He's going to get taken down. He's going to get knocked out. At the end of the day, he's not walking out of that cage with a decision loss. I'm finishing him one way or another. Submission, TKO, knockout, whatever it be.
And you mentioned, right, going for the finish there. I actually wanted to ask you a little bit about that because we opened up today, right, talking about some of the frustrations about getting a fight booked, about hoping to get John Salter. That doesn't come to fruition. You have to fight somebody ranked below you. You, of course, want to climb the rankings here. How important is it being in the situation to go out like you want to do and get a big finish and kind of make a big statement towards the division, like to look out for you here in 2023, because that's obviously going to be right around the corner here?
I mean, everybody already knows to look out for me at this point. That's why nobody's taking the fight. Next year, 2023, maybe I get 2 or 3 fights and they offer me a title fight, or offer me some more money, or even a main event. You know what I mean? Maybe I can convince them to come to Pittsburgh, and put on a main event and gets a big name. You know, I heard Yoel Romero's flirting with the idea of coming down to 185. I think once I win, I'm 8-0. Let's say I move up a spot or two in the rankings. I may not. But he decides to hop down. If that's a matchup that they wanted to make and we could bring it to Pittsburgh, I'm all for it. You know, get my city behind me, sell out the arena, you know, get a big payday, main event the show. But I think at this point in my career, because I'm so early, in order for it to be a main event, it would have to be somebody like that. You know what I mean? I think there's better fighters in the division. I think there's better fighters in the promotion than him. He's just a big name. But there's plenty of other fighters that'd be willing to fight for co-mains, main events, whatever. But money talks, and so does, you know, somebody's name. And somebody like Yoel Romero, I could see that being a main event. If we brought that to Pittsburgh, we sell out that arena, and it'd be a big fight.
Yeah, first off, that is a fantastic idea. I would love that. I would make sure I would make that drive from Scranton right to Pittsburgh. I would make sure it would be credentialed, because that just sounds like an awesome event, and what a great thing for the city of Pittsburgh too. And we're going to talk about the city of Pittsburgh a little bit here. I do have some things to ask you about the city. But before we get into any of that, and we could talk more about maybe a matchup like that when we get to that point, but I did want to ask just one more thing about this upcoming fight before we go on to other things. Whenever you come out to the cage, I always like the jerseys you have on. The last time you had a sick jersey, you told me the story about wearing Ryan Shazir's jersey when you walked out one time. What's the jersey planned for this walkout here? Do you have one planned?
I have one planned. I'm still flirting with other ideas right now. I'm not 100% sure what I'm doing, but there's definitely a plan in place. So we'll see on fight night.
All right, we'll see on fight night, and then after the fight, when we do another one of these, we could talk all about that jersey there. Let's move on to a few other things now. We'll go slightly kind of outside the cage, talk about a few of your teammates here, and then get into the Pittsburgh conversation. You're sharing the card with Cody Law. Obviously, I've been interviewing Cody for a while now. Obviously, you've known Cody it seems like for forever. Just how's he looking? Obviously, he's coming off of his first career loss, looking to get back on the win column. Just how's he been doing down there at American Top Team, and what are you expecting out of him on fight night?
I mean, I'm expecting him to come back with a vengeance. You know what I mean? He got his first loss. Everybody takes that hard, you know, but it's just a bump in the road for him, and he's been training like it never happened, you know. So mentality-wise, mindset, it's good to go. Physicality, he looks great. His training looks great. I haven't seen all of it, you know what I mean? We don't train at the same exact times every single day, but from what I've seen, he looks very, very good. So I'm expecting a great performance, a finish out of him.
And another teammate I want to ask you about is the UFC fighter Dustin Poirier. He just got obviously a massive win over the weekend at UFC 281. If I was a matchmaker in the UFC, I think he's earned himself back to the title picture there. I just want to get your thoughts on his victory, and if you think that's also next for him, a title fight now.
Yeah, I think a title fight should be next. I mean, unless they're giving Oliveira the immediate rematch, then Dustin Poirier. I mean, who else is there? Benil Dariush, but I mean, he fought Gamrot. Gamrot's another one of my teammates, but Gamrot's not Dustin Poirier level, in my opinion. No disrespect to him. And Dustin Poirier just fought a monster in Michael Chandler, you know, someone explosive powerhouse, can wrestle, you know, and Dustin overcame adversity in that fight in the first round early on, all the way 2/3 through that round. You know, he was in some trouble. He came back, and then second round he got put on his back. Third round he comes out and gets the finish. You know, that's the heart of the champion right there. And I think a belt should be next. A championship fight should be next, and you know, maybe Michael Chandler fight Conor McGregor or something. That would be a huge pay-per-view.
Absolutely. Shoot you in the matchmaker room as well here. We could probably make a lot of great matchups here for the fans. But anyway, I do want to get to this Pittsburgh conversation now. I had this all planned to ask you because this is something that we actually talked about a little bit before we came on air here. So everybody probably sees the Seattle Kraken stuff behind me. In case nobody knows, my cousin plays in the Seattle Kraken, Matty Beniers, and we went out to Pittsburgh. First time in the city when they played the Penguins, and what a beautiful city. I was blown away by it, just how clean it was. I know you said there are some parts that might not be, but at least where the sporting events are, it's absolutely gorgeous. The people are absolutely friendly, and that arena is so nice. So it's funny that you said you want to be somebody to main event that arena. So just talk to everybody just a little bit about the city of Pittsburgh, why they should check it out, and then even just talk about that arena too. Because that was one thing you said you wanted to fight. It would be cool to have Yoel Romero fight there, but just for anybody that would be interested to go in that, just to see that arena, it is absolutely beautiful. Even my cousin said too when he came off the ice, we saw him after the game. He was like, at one point when I was over sitting on the bench, I just looked around the arena and I'm like, man, this is nice. I can't believe that I'm playing here. So what would it mean for you too to be able to main event a show there if that ever does come to fruition?
Yeah, I mean the arena's beautiful, as you said. I think main eventing a fight show there would be, I don't think it'd be better feeling, especially at this point in my career, unless I'm getting a belt wrapped around my waist. But it would be even better to get the belt wrapped around my waist there. Being from Pittsburgh, I've been in that arena multiple times. It's beautiful. They put a lot of money into it. They redid it. It's in one of the greatest cities in the world, Pittsburgh. A lot of people don't realize how great a city Pittsburgh is. I was actually just up there for David Allen, who does my suits, his fashion show. He had a fashion show, and he had a lot of celebrities come in from AEW, from WWE. He had John Cena's best friend, Johnny Martin, came in. Braun, Adam Scher came in. A few other people, and there was tons of celebrities, but these are the guys I was talking to about it, and they're like, "Man, this is my first time in Pittsburgh, and this place is beautiful. This is a hidden gem. This is one of America's best kept secrets." These are some of the comments that they were making. It's like, man, I've had such a great time since I was here. It's beautiful. The people are great. The atmosphere. There's so much to do. The food, everything. So no matter what you're looking for, whether it be historical, whether it be food, if you're a foodie, whether you're looking to go to sporting events with the Steelers, the Pirates, and the Penguins, even though the Pirates aren't very good and the Steelers aren't doing very, very well right now either, there's plenty to do sporting event wise. You can go boating and jet skiing on the rivers during the summer months. You're an hour away from whitewater rafting. There's the incline, there's the Gateway Clipper that you could have dinner on the river, that the boat that takes you around. There's plenty to do, and there's different parts of town. The arena is in downtown. There's North Shore. That's where the Pirates Stadium and the Heinz Field is, or Acrisure Stadium now. Then you have the South Side. That's where like all the clubs and stuff are. There's some good food and stuff down there, but I would go down there during the day. That's one of the top places that I tell you isn't the cleanest, isn't the nicest, not the safest. But during the daytime, you're good to go. Then you have the Strip District, the shopping district. It's an older historic district, but there's anything you could think of shopping wise down there. Plenty of food. People will go down there first thing in the morning, 9 a.m., whatever time the shop's open, and it'll be packed all day long. It'll look like a New York City street. So many people walking down there. And the food, like I said, I talked about the food. You got plethora of different foods. You have Polish food with like pierogies and kielbasi and all this other stuff. You have plenty of Italian food, plenty of Italian places, plenty of pizza places. You have Irish pubs down there. Anything you could think of, Mexican, Cuban, Brazilian, it's there in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has it, and there's so much variety, and you can't go wrong with going there at all. A lot of people are critical of the weather, but if you like the seasons, Pittsburgh's also beautiful. If you go to Mount Washington, you have a view over the entire city, nighttime or daytime, beautiful, scenes and views that you'll never get to see anywhere else. I can't say enough about Pittsburgh, man.
I was going to say, I think with that being said, I'm pretty sure we just sold the idea to Bellator to let you main event there in Pittsburgh, because I'm pretty sure now after hearing that, all the fans are going to want to come out to it too. And it's true. You hit the nail on the head with all that. My first time there, like I said, I was blown away. It is an absolutely beautiful city. So anyway, though, man, I appreciate all the time. It's been a great conversation as always. Just last thing before you head out today, social media, so people know where to follow you at. You have any management or sponsors, anything like that you got to give a shout out to? Floor is yours.
You can follow me at Dalton Rosta on Twitter and Instagram. My Facebook's Dalton Rosta MMA. I'd like to give a shout out to my sponsors. I'm actually wearing one of their shirts right now, Elite Living and Health. I don't know if I told you about this. I'm pretty sure last time I was on a call with you, I told you there was another sponsor in the works. This is them. It's functional medicine. They take your blood work. Everything's prescribed, 100% legal. They can help you with anything from like people feeling lethargic, just not feeling great, feel like something's wrong, they're deficient in something. They've helped me out plenty. They can help if they can help a professional athlete out, they can help the average person as well. Glaxon, they've been with me for a year and a half, 2 years now. Best supplement brand in the game. They have every single supplement you could think of, and the ingredients are unmatched. The dosages unmatched. On top of that, my normal sponsors, Arias Agencies, Scooter King, Vito Europoli, Armina Stone, and LW Auto. Thank all you guys. We greatly appreciate it.
All right, Dalton. Thanks again, man. Really appreciate the time as always. Great talking with you. Looking forward to your fight. And hopefully you will get that Pittsburgh fight. Like I said, I think we did a pretty good job of selling Bellator and everybody on having you main event a show in Pittsburgh there. But again, just a reminder to everybody, Dalton fights December 9th at Bellator 289. So make sure you guys have that fight date circled. Also, make sure you guys are checking out MyMMANews.com, checking out all of our great work. Go to our social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Give us a like and a follow on there. And just one last thing before I head out, I want to remind everybody, if you like today's interview, please go to the bottom, give it a thumbs up, and make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel as well. We'll see you later, everybody.